Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's time for the after party. That's still really stupid. Hope you guys are well. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and we're here to talk about some stupid shit that I've seen today because I should be sleeping, and instead I'm up looking at dumb shit on Twitter. I almost, there's so many different names I could have named this one that I could have had fun with. There's some change in the air, you guys. Some change in the air. And some of it supposedly relates to Hope Hicks. Ooh, do you guys know who Hope Hicks is? Oh, she's that beautiful brunette that works for the president. Used to work for Melania, now the president, and she's worked for the president like twice, some shit like that. I can't remember all the details. She's just that cutie that always ends up with her name in the news. Because, well, that's what happens with pretty women. Man, I wish I was a pretty woman. I'd be all over the news. I'd be like, this pretty woman with big titties, go listen to him talk. But before we get into that, I was declared hateful again by YouTube. I got demonetized for hate speech, you guys. YouTube, seriously, just tell me when I did it. I'm not saying I even didn't. I'm not suggesting that I was not hateful. Fuck knows I've done it once or twice in my lifetime. I've said things that are not appropriate, certainly not within the delicate sensibilities of the new left that runs things. That's for fuck sure. Just give me a timestamp, you dicks. However, just stop hating. Stop it, P-Dog. How dare you? I don't know what the hell I did. I never know what it is because they say, what is it? Being mean to protected classes or something like certain traits. So maybe I called somebody fat. I don't know. But again, I don't think anything I've said is particularly hateful. So it'd be interesting to know what they view as hateful that I said. I don't think they give us timestamps because I think they just spin a wheel. It's like, okay, that one's good. And the next time, oh, no, hate speech. You know what I mean? It's so, it was your hate on Kansas. Kansas is not a protected group. And not even the singers. But there's a fun story before we get to the serious stuff. Well, I don't know about how fun it is. It's just absolutely asinine. There was a lady that went into Starbucks a couple weeks ago, refused to wear a mask, and then she took a picture of the barista and tried to have him called out because he wouldn't serve her. And instead of people calling him out, they called her out and donated a shit ton of money to him. Earl Walton, thank you. Was it you reading what Nick Cannon said? Could have been, I suppose. Maybe. It might have been the day we showed his video. But I wasn't showing that as something I believed in. I was actually calling it out, and I feel like that shouldn't count, you know? Still. But, I mean, I get it all the time, even when I don't talk about Nick. So these things happen. Cryptic says, might be me going off on the illegals. Again, it's just so random. There's no one thing I can point to. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. And like I said, I just wish they'd give us a timestamp so then we could make fun of how sensitive they are. I mean, no, so I could learn. But anyway, so this chick takes a picture of a barista who refuses to serve her because she won't wear a mask, which is required inside their Starbucks. And instead of him getting a lot of hate, people raised over $100,000 for this guy, $105,000 to be exact, $105,000 through a GoFundMe to tip him. They all gave him tips. And now this crazy bitch says she deserves half of it, and she's considering suing the guy for half of that $100,000. Yeah, I'm not making that up. The California Karen who berated a Starbucks barista online for refusing to serve her without a mask says she deserves half of the more than $100,000 in donations raised for the employee. Amberlynn Giles complained about the worker in a Facebook post last month, posting pictures of the man in one of the in one of the coffee giant San Diego locations who denied her service for not following the county's coronavirus guidelines. Meet Lennon from Starbucks, excuse me, man, I got to stop even trying to read today, who refused to serve me because I'm not wearing a mask. Next time I will wait for cops and bring a medical exemption. Now, I don't know if it's in this article because I read a different one about it, and I just I don't know if it's in here. One of the reasons she says she can't get a mask, and I'm not making this up, is that she gets mask acne. She has mask acne, you guys. Look, I'm not for the government telling us we have to wear a mask. If an individual business wants to tell you got to wear a mask inside their store, I'm okay with that. I wear masks myself. But mask acne is not a medical reason not to wear a fucking mask. Now, the best part is she talked to some press people, right? And she gave them a doctor's note to prove that she has trouble breathing, because she does say that too. When I make fun of the acne, that's only a secondary thing she says. She also says she has a lot of trouble breathing through it, and she has asthma. Whew. So this woman has problems. So she showed the press a note from her doctor. It was from a chiropractor. She had a note from a chiropractor. Giles brought 2 documents to the outlet to prove her exemption. One document was a pelvic exam from 2014. A second was a handwritten note on the letterhead from a chiropractor reading, Amber has underlying breath conditions, not breathing conditions, breath conditions that prevent her from wearing a mask or any type of facial covering whatsoever. Please contact me if you have any questions. She defended using a note from a chiropractor for a breathing-related condition because, quote, they are dedicated to providing non-invasive, personalized care and treatment. They are real doctors. Okay, so she can't wear a mask because she got acne. She had a pelvic exam in 2015, and her chiropractor said so. Fuck this bitch, seriously. Fuck her right in her bad breath. This is Kyle. Thank you so much. Who says, hello, chat people and monkey. Hello, sir. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good today. By the way, her pelvic exam did note she had ovarian cysts and what is this? Exophytic fibroid arising from the anterior wall of the uterus, measuring 2.9 centimeters in size. So something in her uterus and on her ovary makes it so she can't wear a mask. And now she wants half of this dude's money because of it. By the way, she has started her own GoFundMe to try to help raise money in case she decides to sue this guy. I don't even know what to say to this woman other than get the hell over yourself. At least she's not self-diagnosed, you know. This isn't I went to WebMD and figured out I have ovarian cysts that make it so I can't wear a face mask. But she sounds to me like the kind of person who has an issue for everything, you know. She's the kind of person that if you come in back from work from a week off and you're like, yeah, I had pneumonia. She's like, one of my lungs has collapsed. Is she not aware of this? Is she not aware of where she's supposed to wear this mask? You know, nuts. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think this goes back to those other people who couldn't tell the difference between their mouth and their butts because they thought it was the same thing. And these people, look, they don't have to serve you. You're not wearing a mask. They want you to wear a mask in there. And at this point, they were told by the state or the city that they had to force you to wear one. But they were still enforcing it within their store of their own free will. And they're like, wear a mask or we're not serving you. It's on the door, for fuck's sake. Leave. Just leave. I wear a mask when I go out. I'm asthmatic. I have been since birth. It's not just something that I made up. Does it make it a little more difficult? I mean, I can feel it more, but Trucker Matt, thank you. My client, Ranting Monk, is unallowed to do the YouTube thing. Susan must pay a livable 7-figure salary to the monk. Signed, Dr. Pepper. Thank you so much. I'm going to need that with a doctor's letterhead on it. Chiropractor. A chiropractor. She's not even a GP. Oh, for God's sake. You went to your chiropractor to get a note that says you have to be exempt from wearing a mask. And look, I'm not one of those people who hate chiropractors. They serve a purpose, and getting realigned like that helps a lot of people out, helps them feel better. That's a good thing. But you don't go to them for breathing treatments. You know, you're not in there getting an epi shot because you can't breathe, you know. They're not refilling your inhaler. Not prescribing you steroids, you silly bitch. She gave him a fucking chiropractor note. She finishes up by saying this. I feel like I need the apology. I've been discriminated against. I'm the one who's sick. I will go see a chiropractor. Maybe he can give you something for that. Oh. Yeah. So, yeah, she's raising money to sue this guy for part of his $100,000 that he got for her being a shithead to him. This guy was just doing his job, you know? He was just doing his job and be like, no, I can't serve you. I mean, these are the rules, dumbass. And she took a picture of him and tried to blast him out to social media and get him in trouble and get people to hate him. But it blew up in her face. And, you know, she hasn't even gotten that much pushback for it. She got laughed at a little bit online and it just went away. People stopped paying attention. But now she needs the attention because he got a shit ton of money. Do you think she's been sitting there just watching that GoFundMe go up and up and up and just getting madder and madder about it? I bet she did. I bet as soon as she found out, she just like every day she'd be refreshing it to see how much money he got. Oh, man. Suing the guy because you were a bitch to him and he got tips for it. Whew. That'd be like Susan suing me. Should we talk about some of the hope and change that's in the title? Which one? I should have named this rumors. That was another one I almost went with. But I liked hope and change because it was a little bit of a play on words. Because there's some changes coming, or some that have happened already. And one of them does involve Miss Hope Hicks. Miss Hope Hicks is in the trendings today because of a joke. Okay, so here's the change part. Donald Trump has demoted his campaign manager. His campaign manager, Brad Parscale, is that how you say it? Parscale. I think it's Parscale. Anyway, he's this weird ginger-looking motherfucker. He's been demoted from campaign manager. He's back in just handling digital and data stuff for him, which is what he's done for a long, long time. But he's been demoted. Well, we'll get to why he's been demoted in just a minute. Grug of Apple Tribe, thank you so much. BLM tribe statue in Britain, mega tribe pulled down by city after only one skywalk. Make Grug happy. Seem woke. Hollowbunga soon be gone. If only. I did see that statue had gotten pulled down. It was only allowed to stay up a day. But you should invite Susan onto the show. I don't think Susan would come onto my show, but Susan has an open invitation. Susan, you can come on my show, sweetie. I'd reach out to her on Twitter and let her know, but she always ignores me over there. Anyhow, so this is what Donald Trump tweeted out today. I am pleased to announce that Bill Stepien, I think is how you say his name, has been promoted to the role of Trump campaign manager. Brad Parscale, who has been with me for a very long time and has led our tremendous digital and data strategies, will remain in that role while being a senior advisor to the campaign. Both were heavily involved in our historic 2016 win, and I look forward to having a big and very important second win together. This one should be a lot easier as our poll numbers are rising fast. The economy is getting better. Vaccines and therapeutics will soon be on the way, and Americans want safe streets and communities. So there it is. They announced it's a demotion, and Brad Parscale, like, all right, you're still with the campaign. Doesn't look like there's like much animosity there. You can't look at the way the campaign's going, with the way the polling is going, and really look and say, this was a horrible idea. But we'll get to that in a minute. A random Twitter poster, a random guy out there, posted this. Parscale and Hicks spotted canoodling at Comet Pizza. Onlookers witnessed a, quote, more than friends vibe. For those of you who don't know, Comet Pizza is the one that was involved in Pizzagate, that bullshit scandal that went around for a while. This was a joke. This wasn't somebody actually spotted them out together. But it was retweeted by Rick Wilson, who is a lefty douchebag. And it said, oof, that would make two other Trump world people very angry. Only in DC, kids, only in DC. It was literally a joke, and this guy retweets it as fact, and it blows up on Twitter that Brad Parscale has been fired because he was dating Hope Hicks, and that Donald Trump is just jealous because he doesn't want other people to be having sex. He sees her as his or some stupid shit like that. It is amazing. Now, there's a couple of people, if you read the tweets, who seem like they're in on the joke. But the vast majority of people, they're like, oh my God, Hope Hicks was boning this dude and he lost his job. Shut up, birds. I hate those birds. The only time I don't mind those birds is when I'm playing 7 Days to Die, because they kind of blend into the background. Sorry about the birds, man. Nothing I can do about them. I think the neighbors would get mad if I started shooting them, especially considering I'd have to use one of their guns to do it. Anyhow, so yeah, this all blows up because of a joke. All blows up because of a joke. Now, there are other reasons Brad likely got demoted. First of all, with the PPE thing that's come out, or not PPE, sorry, PPP, Paycheck Protection Program. His companies that he worked for or with or owns or some shit like that got a shit ton of money out of it. And there's a whole lot of people that are like, oh, that looks like that's a bad look. I don't know if it is or not. I haven't looked into it, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's definitely not a good look that your campaign manager is getting a shit ton of money out of a bill you signed. Granted, you didn't write it. He probably had nothing to do with it. But it's not a good look. But far more than that, no matter what you guys think about the polls do matter, at least as a measurement of where things are. And at this point, I don't think even the Trump team's internal polls are showing that he's winning. And I think that's why he's gone. Like, dude, you're doing a horrible job. We're running against Biden. How the fuck are we losing? The guy has dementia. He's got a track record that is atrocious. How in the fuck are we losing this? And that's what I think it boils down to. I don't think this comes down to Hope Hicks at all. Don't get me wrong. If he got to bang Hope, good on you, dude. I mean, he's married, so he probably shouldn't be doing that anyway. But if you got to tap that, nice pull, man. Nice pull. But it has nothing to do with that. But it blows up, and there's so many idiots that are like, they must have done it. And it all comes from a Twitter joke, from a nobody. From a nobody. When I say nobody, I mean somebody with like my numbers on Twitter. So, I mean, I understand a good joke. I like it when that goes. I don't even mind, stupid memes, but these aren't memes. These people are believing it. They're embracing it. Like, yes, this is real. Like, y'all are fucking morons, man. The other change that might be coming, and we're all waiting on the Washington Post for this. The Washington Post just won't tell us the story. Dan Snyder of the Redskins. Don't worry, guys. We're not going to talk too much football here, but we have to talk football because the story is about to blow up reportedly. So Dan Snyder, he's the owner of the Washington Redskins. It's reported that there's a report coming out. Yes, I just said that. It is reported that there's a report coming out that Dan Snyder is about to be accused of all kinds of horrible shit, from massive drug use to basically forced prostitution. Yeah. This has been slowly rolling out. People have been telling us that they know what the story is. Supposedly he's being investigated by the FBI. There may be some ties to Epstein here. But again, all of it is speculation, because the Washington Post supposedly has this article that was supposed to drop sometime today, and they still haven't dropped it. They were reportedly, Dan Snyder and John Gruden, who was the coach for the team at the time, were pimping out their cheerleaders to season ticket holders, and they were holding on to, was it with their passports, so the girls would like have to do it, kind of thing. They were having parties where there's accusations of sexual assault. But again, all of this is speculation on a story that might come out. At this point, if the Washington Post story doesn't come out and have ridiculously salacious charges in it. Jay Gruden. What? Jay Gruden. I thought it was John Gruden. Okay, Jay Gruden. My bad. John is John his brother? Huh. Anyway, if the story comes out and it doesn't have these allegations in it, it is going to be the biggest nothing burger ever. I mean, it's almost been built up to the point now that they can't release the story, So it'll be interesting. But there's a lot of stuff out there. And there's speculation that the reason that Snyder finally agreed to change the name of the team is that he knew this stuff was going to be coming out. He knew this was going to be coming out, and this was his way of trying to get ahead of the story and change the narrative so that it wasn't so bad. Now don't look at me and my accusations of drug use and pimping women. Look at how good I was at changing the name of the team. Jim says, man, I hope it's true. The NFL needs a boot to the head. I'm torn on it. I hope it's true, but I also hope it's not, because some of the stuff in there, look, if he's just a cokehead, that's his problem. You know what I mean? But if he's basically forcing cheerleaders into sexual servitude, that's not cool. So in that case, in that regard, I hope it's not true. But the rest of it, I'm kind of like, I hope that's true. I fucking hate the Redskins. I've had a hate relationship with the Redskins going back to when I lived in Virginia. Because as a Chargers fan, I don't like other teams. And so you live in Virginia Beach, and the Redskins are the team everybody loved. The Panthers weren't around at that time. I don't know if it's more of a split now, but it used to be the Redskins because they were the closest team. And I fucking hated them. I hated how they were pumped up even when they sucked. It was disgusting to me. So I learned to hate them. So yeah, if that comes out, I will laugh my ass off. But it is weird that the Washington Post, because this story's been pimped out now for like 2 days of what might be happening with it, and they're just sitting on it, waiting for some damn reason. Stacey Abrams is also trending because she told black people to make sure they filled out the census. Okay. I don't understand why that's a thing. I'm a Steelers fan, and Big Ben should have gotten in trouble and evidence was mysteriously lost. You know, the stuff that went on with Big Ben. For those of you who don't know, Ben Roethlisberger, he is the quarterback for the Steelers. And was it just once or has it been twice he's been accused of sexual assault? But yeah, it was in a bathroom, wasn't it? The main one that happened there, the one where the evidence was lost and stuff. Yeah, he supposedly accosted a woman it was a bar bathroom, right? I can't remember the exact details, but yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff that goes like that. 4 times. I'm sorry, 4 times. But yes, in this specific instance, the one was it was in a bathroom. And yeah, there's weird stuff that goes on with NFL players and evidence being lost. NFL players, just like if you're in a high school where the sports team is really good, they get special privileges that you and I don't. There's that great line from South Park: we treat athletes better because they're better people. We kind of do. And a lot of times it's to the detriment of, unfortunately, those around them. Yeah, because that one looked like it was going to be the end of Roethlisberger's career and probably his freedom. Oh man. Did you guys see the video of Henry Cavill building a computer? As I was watching it, I was actually yelling at him, like, dude, stop it. You're fucking it up. When he's trying to get the processor in, he's like, gotta be careful. It'll only line up one way. Only one way. So it was interesting, and it was fun. It was a fun little video of him doing it. And apparently the ladies really like it because you get to see his muscular arms. So check that out, guys. Plus, they put some Marvin Gaye music over it, which makes it sensual, apparently. Not for me, but I mean, I can see ladies might like it, sure. He's a decent-looking man, got big old arms on his ass. Not on his ass, coming out of his shoulders where most of us have our arms. And yeah, he built I thought it was just cool because he was building a computer. This is a big-time Hollywood actor building his own computer, and that fucking video card he put in it probably cost more than my house. Jesus fuck, man. A motherfucker put in what he put in a NVIDIA 2090 at least. He probably got some experimental shit, the super card. Just press harder. All you need. That's not the way you put in a. That's not the way you put in a processor. So Superman's not so super at the small stuff. Well, there's a great part of the video where he breaks away and he goes, working on it tomorrow. I had to play some games. I love the idea of Superman sitting at home playing like Call of Duty. That's awesome. Or maybe he's playing Alpha 19. Who knows? Maybe he's a 7 Days to Die fan. I don't know. I don't follow him, so I couldn't tell you, but I just thought it was cool, man. There's a lot of people who get very intimidated by building a computer, and it's really they've pretty much made it idiot proof. You almost have to try to be irresponsible with it. Over on the Streamlabs real quick. Thank you, Dragon Mage has said, have you heard about the lawsuit against the LA Juvenile Hall that claims they forcefully injected estrogen into 16-year-old boys because they had ODD? And they do. Oh, and the doctors apparently didn't know why they were doing the injections. I have not heard that. That's disgusting if true. And I hope the people that happened to, sue the shit out of them. Cavill talked before about being a PC gamer. Again, I don't follow him, man. I just don't follow him. He's a WoW nerd. He missed the Superman call because he was raiding. Nice. I didn't know that. Awesome. Yeah, that computer he's building, though, that looks like a beast. Looks like a beast. He didn't put a liquid cooling system in it, which good for him. I think those are highly overrated. And there's going to be somebody in chat. No, they're not, Monkey. They're actually like really, really necessary these days. They're really not. As long as you keep the airflow fine, you'll be all right without them. Going to be cluster computing eventually. What? Oh, I'm building a supercomputer, 128 cores. Damn. Good on you, man. Building a computer is pretty easy unless you're polydub. I was there when, Satsu was going through getting his computer. I'm like, dude, it's really easy. And he's like, not for me. I'm like, I get you. A lot of people are intimidated by it, but it's literally just plug and play. Almost everything you do to a computer, you just plug it in. And things only fit where they go. This is Kyle. Thank you. I was able to teach myself what all the parts are and do the build on my own computer in about 2 weeks, and I was being lazy about it. I put mine together. Granted, I've done this a long time, but I put mine together in just a couple of hours. It doesn't take that long. If you know everything and you have all the parts, yeah, it's easy. It's literally plug and play. What's going on here? Supreme Court allows Florida to require ex-felons to repay fees before being allowed to register to vote. I feel like that's a small price to pay, right? You wanna vote again? Pay your dues, man. That's part of paying your dues to society, right? Zan and Nuts are both talking about how they fell asleep on my gaming stream last night. I just put y'all to sleep. Is that what it is? I got to start screaming more. Ah! You hear about Missouri signing an anti-Israel law for companies? No, but I'm not shocked. They doing the DTS? What is it? Is that what it is? No, DBS. I forget what it is. Diverge, boycott, screw them. That kind of. I forget what it is exactly. Gamer Vleen, thank you. You've seen my monster 64 gig of new RAM tomorrow. By the way, he was cheap on the Ryzen. I wasn't paying attention to all the parts that he got. I just saw his video card and like, yeah, that's a lot more power than I have. Zan says, you and that voice. Look, you guys, you want to hear a really sweet story? I got a what's it called? A Snapchat from my daughter this morning. And she told me my granddaughter, my daughter's trying to cook, and my granddaughter's in her little standing chair. She's learning, how to stand and walk and all that stuff. And it's a little seat you put them in. It helps build up their leg muscles and stuff. And it's got toys all around it in a circle that they can spin it. Anyway, she's sitting in that, and she's grumpy as hell. So my daughter turned on Monkey in the morning, and as soon as she started hearing my voice, she just calmed right down. I'm the baby whisperer. It's what I do. It's what I do, man. I have that soothing voice. You already know how I get to sleep. I know you do, Kansas. But it doesn't mean I can't pretend I'm offended once in a while. Boycott, divest, sanction. That's it. BDS. Thank you. Thank you. I knew it was something like that. Zan says grandbaby was exposed to COVID, so I can't see her for another week. Oh, that sucks, Zan. My grandchildren were exposed. Not even necessarily exposed. One of the ladies that works at the daycare that my youngest granddaughter went to was exposed. And because she was exposed, everybody she'd gone to, contact tracing, So they are all in lockdown. But they had COVID tests. They've all come back negative. So we'll see. Subpar says babies recognize their own. No, it's not. It's not just my grandchildren. Do you guys know people put me on to calm their dogs down? We've been told that in chat before, and their cats. They put my voice on to calm people down. All right. Apparently, people are just listening to my voice and not the shit I'm saying. That's the secret to being able to sleep when Monkey's on. Don't listen to what he's saying, because that will piss you off. Just listen to how he's saying it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I've been through this when I was younger. It did offend me, because Lady Monkey used to fall asleep all the time when we'd be talking. We'd be on the phone together. This is way back when we were in high school and when we were young adults, and we'd be laying in bed together, and I'd be talking to her, and she'd be asleep. I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, it's just that my voice soothes her. And as I realized that, it actually became a source of pride. So. RVA Dar, thank you. Monkey, I was making a joke at Polly's expense. It's fun to pick on him and the potato. No, I understand that. But it really, I got the joke. I did. But there are people who are really intimidated by doing anything inside a computer. And if you go back to the early days, oh God, the early days. Go back to, not even the early days, let's call them the teenage years for computers. Back when your computer didn't have the power that any phone you're holding right now has, it was very easy to break things, very easy to put something in wrong, very easy to force something down where it didn't go because it almost went, that kind of thing. Thank you, Nyala. Monkey is the new Valium and Ambien. Why, thank you. I try my best. But it's very, very easy to my 5-year-old and 1-year-old run into the room every time you come on, Monk. See, I am the baby whisperer. I just am. Plus, they recognize, when you say recognize their own, you have to realize I'm also a giant child. So there's that. But it was very, very easy back in the earlier days of computing to put, especially with your processor, man. Oh, it was so easy to bend one of the fucking pins. So easy. And they've made it mostly idiot proof. I think I haven't seen all motherboards, but everyone I've seen, yeah, you have to be very, you'd have to try to break something now. RBA Dar says the early days is when I built my first machine. My first machine that I built completely by myself, I think Windows 98 had just come out. I don't think I had 95 on that machine. So it's been that long. But yeah, it was easier to break stuff. These days, I mean, like what Henry did there, it's cool to see him doing that. And I hope it inspires more people to do it, because if you go out there and you buy your parts, you can find lists all over online to tell you what parts to buy. You can probably go to any computer messaging board and ask people, okay, I'm trying to put this together. What should I get? You got to be careful, because you're going to get people who try to tell you need the most expensive thing ever. But no. Because you can buy a motherboard and then buy parts that don't actually go to it. You have to pay attention to what the motherboard will actually hold. But you can just ask a couple of questions and you'll get all of your answers. You'll be able to order the shit online yourself and put it together and save anywhere from $500 to $1,000 on them. Cryptic, thank you. Idiot proof? No such thing. Pretty much idiot proof. Let me put that in there. And Hazmat, thank you. So calling them a potato patches calms them down. I didn't say they were. That was a doll brand we were talking about. I used to be the baby whisperer for my cousin's autistic kid. I was the autistic baby whisperer. No, we used to talk about how it was little butts. I was the little butt whisperer. This was when she was the only grandbaby at the time, and her dad had never seen it. He'd heard him talk about it, and what was it? It was Easter, and little butt is a bear if she hasn't gotten sleep, and she didn't get much sleep, and she got woke up, and she just didn't want to come out, and she is throwing just a horrific fit, and she put herself in her room throwing her fit, and I went in there, and I just talked to her for about 2 minutes, and we came out, and she was smiling and happy, And all I did is I went in there and I talked to her in this voice and explained to her what we were about to do. It's like, hey, there's hidden eggs out there. We're going to go find them. They might be candy in them. And it's just the way I talked to her, and it just calmed her right down. You get up and we run around, and her dad looks at me and goes, what the hell? Like, I am the baby whisperer. It's what I do. Anyhow, this was not supposed to be about me. We're talking about hope and change. Gamer Bleen, thank you. 2,000 to 2,500 in the US. Not sure if he's in the UK where there's VAT. He used a 2080 Ti, a Ryzen, and I have his keyboard. I am the computer whisperer. The only thing I did pay attention to was his keyboard. I'm like, dude, that is a piece of shit keyboard. Get yourself a better one. What the hell? That's like standard out of the box keyboard. What the hell? You're gonna break your wrists on that thing. That doesn't even have a wrist rest on it. Come on, man. You're Superman. You should know better than that. All that money you spent on that computer, come on. He probably got that shit free too, didn't he? Anyway, so we have maybe a change coming to. Let's go back to Dan Snyder for a minute. If those charges come out to be true about him, if that's what that report from the Washington Post says, he might have to sell the team. He might have to sell the team. Now, again, we don't know what the actual charges are, but that would be a really good time for Donald Trump to buy up the team and name him something, name him the Washington Trumps. I'm not saying he should do that. I just think it would be funny. Go play for the Washington Trumps. What else was going on in the world? There was other things I wanted to talk about, but I got all kinds of distracted by the Hope Hicks thing. Because that Hope Hicks one, that still annoys the shit out of me. Just, it really, really does. I'm all for jokes. I really am. But now, this is the kind of thing. Donald Trump has gotten in trouble and had things put on his Twitter telling people this isn't real for him having his opinion. For him having an opinion. These are people who are spreading a blatant lie. A blatant lie. It's a Razer keyboard. The wrist part is magnetic. I use mine at work. My Logitech 920 at home, or G920. That looked like a piece of shit keyboard that you buy literally that you pull right out of a box if you buy a box computer. That's a $10 keyboard at Walmart. These people get to go out there and tell a blatant lie and spread that. And there's not a peep from Jack. Not a peep. It's almost as though there's, and they can't, it's not like YouTube or Twitter can go, we didn't know that was happening. It's trending. It's trending, and they curate their trending list. It's not organic. We know it's not organic. They've come out and told us. Muggy's keeping me company on the drive home. Epic win. Drive safe, and happy to be along for the ride. We know that they curate this, so they've seen that that's going on. They've looked at why, and they're pushing it. They're promoting it. I've noticed a trend on Twitter. See what I did there? I've noticed a trend on the Twitter trending list that anything anti-Trump gets pushed really hard by Twitter. And if there is some kind of, not necessarily even pro-Trump, but even equal Trump, they will push that shit down as quickly as possible and promote it with stuff. I know they've always done that, but in the last 2 months, it has gotten to ridiculous levels. Like, ridiculous. And I'm very curious what kind of effect that's having. I am. As I look at the polls and everything, and I look at this stuff that Twitter's just pushing the same old shit that the mainstream media does, that YouTube is doing now. I don't go to Facebook enough to know what the fuck they're doing. But the rest of social media and the mainstream media have been pushing. And I'm wondering what kind of effect it's actually had. Danger says it's almost like they're trying to influence an election. They absolutely are. And again, this is what I was talking about. I've talked about this since they first called everybody up to Congress. Like, we need to talk to the heads of these groups and blame them. They're like, you guys let Russia get involved here. And it was at that moment I realized that they realized the power of social media. They realized just how important it is to control the narrative on social media. And ever since then, they've been slowly chipping away. Anybody that would get trending, like Carpe Donktum, I'm actually surprised it took them that long to get rid of him. But they got rid of him over bullshit copyright claims. Even the way he used that video, take a look at the Sargon case. The Sargon versus Alika, I forget her name. But with the way that case was decided, the clip that Carpe Donktum did with those kids as CNN, even if he never showed the whole video, would have been enough to be fair use. What Twitter did there was disgusting. Akila, that's her name, Akila. She means nothing to me, so her name just doesn't stick. There's people that I know and love, and I forget their names. You think that bitch is going to stay in my brain? Just call her Alkaline Battery. But yeah, with that decision, Donktum would win in a court case in a heartbeat. It'd probably break him. I don't know how much money the guy has. But the precedent is there. And Twitter knows that precedent is there. And they went ahead with this anyway. They went ahead and they're like, sorry, fair use. They claimed it. No fair use for you. We got to take that from you. And they kicked him off the platform over it. Anybody who does anything that gets any kind of traction goes away. Why do you think that is? Do you think that's accidental? Because I don't. There's no part of me that thinks that's accidental. They have enough exceptions for the things that are said. If anybody had said what Nick Cannon did, but they were white and they replaced the two races, just race swap that whole situation, they would have been kicked off Twitter even if they didn't say it on Twitter. They'd be kicked off Facebook even if they didn't say it on Facebook. They'd be kicked off every fucking platform out there, even if that's not where they said it. There's a good chance that financial institutions would no longer allow them to operate with them. But not Nick. Nick got to talk to a rabbi and get a get out of anti-Jew jail free card. Anybody that gets traction with a conservative bent goes away. Ben Shapiro. I mean, I think the only reason they still allow him on there is, one, he doesn't swear, and two, a lot of conservatives don't like him because conservatives, for some reason, want to beat down their own voices. Never forget, conservatives are the one who canceled Milo Yiannopoulos, not liberals. Never forget that. It wasn't liberals who went after Milo Yiannopoulos and said, we got to get rid of him. That was conservatives. And it was all about jealousy. And I know they'll be, no, monkey, he wasn't. No, hey, shut the fuck up. It was jealousy. That's what got Milo taken out. Milo was taken out because he was invited to speak at CPAC. The videos that they used against him had been out there for 2 fucking years. And conservatives went after him and killed him. Socially killed him. You can't even blame. I mean, yeah, Jack took him off Twitter, but he was still hugely popular over there on YouTube. He was hugely popular everywhere else. He was still allowed. And what they do? They went in there and got rid of him. They got rid of him. I don't like Ben because he's inconsistent when it comes to his values. Also, he's kind of dumb. I don't find Ben to be dumb. I think that there's certainly times where his values don't seem to line up, where he seems to be hypocritical in spaces. But I haven't talked to him about why. I mean, there's times that I would seem hypocritical if you're not paying attention to the entire situation. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't watch Ben all that often. But most of the stuff I've seen about it is there's a lot of people who don't like him because he's not a huge Trump fan. And he does take, every so often, he'll take a moment to just take a big chunk out of him. Cryptic, thank you. What the rhinos did to Milo was sickening. It was. And it was it was a big mistake. It was a big mistake. Milo had he's still around. He's not dead. But is he still on YouTube? I know he had a channel. I don't know if they've killed it yet. But he had a charisma and he had a way of selling the message that worked. He excited young people. He had crowds turning out by the thousands for him. And not just angry crowds, but crowds turning out for him. And yeah, they destroyed him. You see this with the right a lot. And right, is it Razor Fist who's been talking about this recently? I've talked about the Milo thing since it happened. I'm like, fucking Republicans did this. And they're doing it to themselves over and over. The whole stupid Charlie Kirk versus Nick Fuentes thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like we're gonna fraction off and beat each other to death while these losers over here win. I'm more America than you are. I get the idea. You know, you don't want somebody who's actually liberal running for your platforms, but if they're actually pushing your platforms and positions and they're selling them, why would you be like, no, how dare you? How much was Milo really into it and how much was shown? Not that he should have been canceled. I don't know how much Milo was into it. I think Milo originally was an anti-Gamergater. He was on the Sarkeesian side at first, and that changed really quickly. And there's some people who think he did it just for the money. But if you listen to him talk and you listen to him when he was actually going through all of the talking points, he knew him and sold him. You tell me if he believed him. I don't know. But he was a great showman, and he did a really good job of selling the message, and Republicans did a really great job of killing him for it. Cancel culture, you guys. The people against cancel culture did that shit. And they will do it to anyone that they deem not worthy. Razor just did riots that killed gun control. Yeah, I watched that last night. I don't know that he's right about it killing gun control. It certainly sold a lot of guns. Certainly sold a lot of fucking guns, man. He rose to prominence defending Gamergate. Never saw him opposing it. When he first hit the scene, he was on the Sarkeesian side. Look it up. I'm not making that up. He never took as far as I know, he never took the strong stance that Still Gray on Twitter. What the fuck is his name? Ian Miles Chong. He never went that as far as he did. But yeah, he started out with I can't believe they're being so mean to women in the games. Over on the Streamlabs, thank you so very much. Tumbleweed is very generous. The plan continues apace. The Illuminati have spoken. I'm watching what's going on. I was looking at the COVID stuff today because Rick DeSantis down there, and is that his name? DeSantis, whatever the fuck his first name is, down there in Florida. They're calling him Death Santis. Hashtag Death Santis was trending because a couple of weeks ago, he was talking about how they kept saying that COVID was coming to Florida and it wasn't there yet. It was going to be there just like New York, but it wasn't there yet. And now it's hit, you guys. Now it's hit. Ron DeSantis. That's it. I said Rick. Ron DeSantis. And I'm just looking at him like, you know, I'm not going to say that it was purposefully set out there. I'm just going to say that it is very fortuitous timing. Very fortuitous timing that this virus pops up right as the Democrats are facing what is sure to be a humiliating defeat in the election. Wow, you mean Florida actually flattened the curve? Well, no, now the curve's going up, P-Dog. That's the problem. It's going up. And again, they're not talking about the fact of how many tests are being done and why the number is as high as it is with the number of tests. They're not talking. We read a story just the other day, that there are private labs who are not reporting negative test results. We can't make that shit up. And we'll say that sometime, and I guarantee you somebody's going, that never happened, monkey. It's true. It's absolutely true. They're private labs, and these are people who do the testing a lot. And, yeah, they're not reporting the negative results, which artificially inflates the number and the percentage of positives. The increase was inevitable with reopening. You're right, Faithless. And it was expected. It was expected. There's that. Oh, God. All of us hunkering down, sheltering in place was never to get rid of the virus. That was never going to happen. The virus has to play itself out, or we have to find a way to defeat it. Medically, hiding in your house is not going to defeat this virus. This is what I talked about very early on when I said it would be better off to just let everybody outside. Because the idea was never to get rid of the virus. All of us are going to be exposed to it at one point or another. All of us, myself included. I live in my basement and never leave the house. Eventually, I will be exposed. There's a whole lot of stories coming out about how burdened Miami hospitals are and Houston hospitals. What was the other one I saw? There's another city. I can't remember which, but down south there, you know, they're just overburdened. The Miami hospitals are at 95% capacity, you guys. Do you guys remember when we heard all that from New York? When we heard all of it from, well, New Jersey and the states of Michigan, they're overrun. And in order to prove it, they were showing pictures from, what was it, Italian hospitals? Yeah. I think it was in Houston where they're keeping some of the patients in the ER. And so they've had to turn away ambulances at ERs. They've had to divert them to different hospitals depending on how many COVID patients they have, or suspected COVID patients. Because don't forget, a lot of these people, when they end up in there, it's not that they actually have COVID, it's suspected COVID. That's just true. Hospitals are always almost at capacity. Yes, they run that way on purpose, Atheist Icon. You've paid attention, have you? The hospitals in Houston, they were quoted as saying, we could get more ICU rooms, which is what they need. We have more ICU capacity. We just don't have the staff to take care of it. So instead of opening the ICU areas, they're just shoving them into the ERs. Summer, thank you. I'm getting sick of nurses pretending they're facing bullet fire. Dude, they're on the front lines. They're on the front. It's just such a, again, I'm trying not to be conspiratorial, but this just worked out a little too well. You know what I mean? Just a little bit too well. Monk, check out how many hospital beds are in the U.S. How many are in there? I have no idea. And my wife works in the medical field. I've just spent a lot of time in hospitals. I've been sick my whole life. Yeah. A near capacity hospital is normal. You don't open up, run lighting, cleaning, etc. for areas you're not currently using. Yeah. One of the easiest ways for a hospital to save money is to shut down areas that aren't being fucking used. Kingslayer, thank you. The best thing is George Floyd is a COVID death. Stop it. That's true. It's true. They checked him and he had COVID. Cryptic, thank you. Yet they have time for music videos. Oh, that's how you, I don't know if you know this, but back in World War II, the guys on the front lines often, to break up the tension, would stop and film a TikTok video. Monkey, did you comment on Cuomo's propaganda poster? No, I haven't actually seen it. I saw, my wife was watching Phil DeFranco, and he was talking about it the other day. And I saw a meme with Cuomo, and somebody had cut out the graph itself and put it over his crotch for some reason. I know it was, didn't Scribe read something about this? I can't remember exactly, but I know it came up on Lords of the Night, but I haven't gone and looked at the poster myself. But it's supposedly, it's this poster that, it's him basically going like, "We stop Corona." Oh man. TikTok, World War II. I don't think that's right. Zombie Teddy, look it up. I think I'm right on that. There's a whole bunch of dancing soldiers in TikTok videos back in World War II. There's a lot of them from the Battle of the Bulge, right before the shelling would start again. Anytime the shelling would stop, they'd get up, they'd film a quick TikTok video, showing everybody how much fun they're having. Fairly certain about that. Rodline, thank you. My sister's an ER nurse outside of Phoenix. Even she thinks the hero nurse thing is crazy and embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Our doctors and nurses are heroes every fucking day. They save lives. It's what they do. That's a heroic thing. But now they're acting like, "Oh, I'm having to do my job." Shit. And I have no problem with people thanking them. But what about thanking the truckers who have kept our fucking food going? What about those guys? You're going to talk about some heroes who get no fucking accolades at all. How about the fucking people stocking the store shelves for you? What about that cashier who's hoping not to get that shit from your dirty ass as she's sitting there working an 8-hour shift, helping you buy shit you probably don't even need? What about the Amazon folks packing those boxes for you? We got heroes all over the fucking place. How about those nurses? Those nurses. And again, I'm not deriding nurses. They do a great job. And every time I've been in the hospital, the nurses are always the ones I prefer to deal with, because many of the doctors, especially if it's not your doctor, tend to be shitbags who don't really care. They're there just be, all right, I got to look at this chart now. Nurses are great folks. The doctors are great folks. They're doing great work. But stop with the hero worship shit. Stop it. Handing you filthy money. Faithless, no doubt. No doubt. You want to spread disease easily? Use cash. True story. TikTok cures shell shock, don't you know? I know, right? And yes, the World War II TikToks were awesome. They're harder to find these days. Harder to find. Not to mention people in supermarkets getting abused for shortages beyond their control. Yeah. Look, man, I have so much respect for anybody who's going out and doing this every day. Every day. Our frontline workers. Shut up. They're all frontline workers, and they're all working their asses off. They're trying to make a living like you and me. And are they overworked sometimes? Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. It might not be the same life or death situation, but I'm fairly certain that there's stockers who keep your grocery shelves full, who on an 8-hour day do a whole lot more physical labor than a nurse. No offense, nurses. Not taking anything away from you either. But, I mean, a little perspective. And these people do it every day. They did it before the pandemic. They've done it for other pandemics that you didn't even know happened. Out there, keeping everything going. But we got to shut it all down, guys. Now, this is the part where I do get a little conspiratorial. I do. Because this is a first. This is a first. Pincalo says, I have to drag 500-pound kids of rifle barrels from the front of my van to the back every day. Where's my medal? Oh, don't worry. They'll play music outside of a window for you one day, Pincalo. They'll no, they won't. Because we never pay attention to those folks. We never pay attention to the folks who do the hard work that keeps the country running. And this is what I was getting to. And in your case, keep your country running. He's up in Canada. Here's what I was getting at, where it's like, this is where the conspiracy does kind of kick in for me. We've never shut the country down before like this. Ever. Maybe a city here and there. But for the most part, the way we've always dealt with this kind of thing is we lock up the sick people and let the regular people, the healthy people, just go about their day. We don't shut everything down. And once again, the idea to shut this down goes, I forget, was it 2006? Comes from a scientist who got the idea from his daughter's science project. She was 14 years old. This is the idea of a 14-year-old. Seriously, I'm not making that up. But it's been out there since, I want to say it was 2006. It might be 2008. We didn't shut everything down for the swine flu. We didn't do that. That was a pandemic. We didn't go, oh my God, we got to shut everything down, make sure nobody has it. That was a pandemic. That was after we knew of this idea to shut everything down, given to us by a 14-year-old. But for some reason, this time we are. And it's amazing that Trump's handling of the economy, since this has kept going on, is seen as a horrible thing right now. We need to reopen everything, send people back to work. Things will get better. And yes, people will get sick. Some people will die. It happens every day. Every year, between 20 and 80,000 people die of the flu. Every year. It's not every year. It's every flu season. So, I mean, it still works out about the same, but the flu season goes between years. So let me just be clear there. Every flu season, 20 to 80,000 every year. We do not shut down everything so we don't spread the flu. We don't even force everybody to get the flu vaccine. We encourage it. But we don't force it. We don't force people to wear masks. Hey. It's flu season, motherfucker. Don't be out here sneezing. You ever had the flu? That shit sucks. Your grandma ever had the flu? Probably not, because she wouldn't be your grandma still. She'd be my former grandma. Not going to lie, I'm not liking the idea of sending my kid back to school. You know what? Nuts. I've had this discussion with a few moms, And I get it. And they've scared the shit out of moms, and they knew what they were doing there. They knew what they were doing there. The highest number of people getting the disease right now are young people. I believe it's under the age of, is it under the age of 35 or 25? I can't remember. But it's basically teen to young adult, mid adult. And they're fine. They have a cold. When it comes to the littler kids, we're not even sure they can carry it. That's how few little kids get sick. We're not even sure they're able to carry it. Don't trust me on this. Look it up. YouTube, I'm actually the one out here spreading reality. Look it up. A few kids have died, and I'm not, just waving over them, but it's a very few number. The hospitalization rate for children is astronomically low. Kids will be fine. Nut says he's 17, last year of high school. He'll be fine. He'll be absolutely fine. Even if he gets it, chances are the worst he'll get is a cold. He'll feel run down. He'll have a fever for a couple of days, and he'll be fine. If we're going by what normally happens, that's what normally happens. Should we go over the hospital rates again? Jay Hitchcock says, and their teachers? Well, unless they're exceptionally old, they'll probably be fine too. And even if they are exceptionally old, they'll probably be fine. Look at the numbers. Most people are fine. The hospitalization rate, which in order to get hospitalized, it's a 93 on your breathing test. When they put that little thing on your finger, your oxygenation rate, 93%. The hospitalization rate is 1% of 1%. Your chance of dying if you're in the hospital is even smaller. If you're under 44 years of age, it is less than 5% of that 1% of 1%. Most people will be fine. We never do this. The flu is fucking deadly. It kills every year. And nobody is like, we got to close down schools because of old teachers. Okie Native, thank you. But Monk, think of the children's teachers. Well, it's not just the children's teachers. You have the children's teachers. If that child is sick and they spread it to another child, they take it home to their family and they get sick and maybe it kills grandma. Oh, no. You just killed grandma because you want a child to get an education. Or grandma's fine most of the time. And by most, I mean most of the time. Formerly Rod line, yeah, it's scary. I'm sending him back. It just scares me. I get it, Nuts. I do. But you've been... we're being fed this shit constantly about how scary it is. And again, wear your masks, guys. Absolutely wear your masks. Government, don't tell us to wear them because fuck you. But wear your mask. But you're gonna be fine. Most people are. Okay, Native, thank you. Way to kill a joke. Everyone else got it. No, I got your joke. But see, your joke is what they actually say. So I had to adjust that and take everyone else into account as well. Some of you guys get very offended when I do that. Old people die. It's what they do. And again, I mean, when you're looking at the death rates and stuff, I mean, you're talking, it doesn't get seriously scary until you're over. I don't know if even the over 45 group, I would say not until you're like in the 60s group. And then really scary when you get to the 80s. That's when it's like, oh shit, that's going to kill grandma. Keep grandma away from people then. Quarantine grandma, not the rest of us, because you're not doing any favors quarantining everybody. You're not doing the whole idea. Okay, I want to explain this one more time because there's somebody mad at me because teachers might get killed. The whole idea of this was never to end the disease through social distancing and self-quarantining because they know you can't do that. This is a computer model that they've done that actually works, that they show how communicable diseases are spread. There's no way to stop it because we have to interact with each other. The idea was flatten the curve. But if you watch the curve, go all the way back to that Fauci press conference with Trump where they announced the flatten the curve thing. And if you look, remember it was going to be 2 to 2.8 million people dead if we didn't flatten the curve. We didn't flatten the curve. But once we flatten that curve, that line just keeps going. It keeps going straight. Those are new cases. We're never going to get rid of it. The only way to get rid of it is to get a treatment for it. The whole idea was just to slow down so we didn't have a giant spike that it just kind of slowly went across to everybody. But it was still going to get to everybody, including your child's teachers, your child, your grandma, everybody. Thank you, Cryptic. New statistics shows that millions of students aren't logging on to their online classes, mostly disadvantaged kids. I'm not shocked that I don't know if that's true. I'll take your word for it, but I like the idea of online classes. If I was a kid, I would have loved to have done my classes that way. But I also think school is necessary for social interaction. But yeah, how are really poor kids who don't have access to internet get into classes? You know, okay, Native, thank you. I always wear my mask in public when I'm knocking off a liquor store. Well, that's one way to do it. One way to do it. Oh, Tumbleweed, thank you. Over here on the Streamlabs. There we go. Sweden have reached herd immunity. Deaths are falling fast, and they never close society. P.S. Walmart has imposed national store mask policy. I sure they shouldn't do that. Oh, I don't know if that was a question, so I'm guessing you're asking if they should do that. I don't care if Walmart does that. It's their prerogative. If you don't like the mask policy, you go to a store that doesn't have one, but most of them are going to have them anyway soon. Yeah, the Sweden thing is one of those ones that nobody wants to ever talk about. They didn't shut down shit. Not a fucking thing. And yeah, they've just, it's spread through their community and it's pretty much over. And if you guys want this to end here, that's what we have to do. Now, there is promising research that came out about a vaccine. This was in the New York Post yesterday or the day before. I forget which one. There's a trial of a vaccine that they gave to 45 people, I think it was. I forget the age range, but I think it went up to 65. And everybody that they tested after they did this showed up with the antibodies. So that's a good start. Cryptic, thank you. New York Times and LA Times. I'll take a look, bud. Thank you so much. But yeah, this is a vaccine that is promising, but they've only tried it on 45 people. And they said the side effects were minimal. Yeah. Even with treatment will not eliminate. We have flu vaccines, still have flu deaths. People have lost their fucking minds over this. They really have. And look, it's not a nothing burger. It's not nothing. It was a brand new thing that came out and was devastating Wuhan. And once it got to the rest of the world, it started devastating. But look at any country that's shut down that they've talked about. Oh, look how great they did. South Korea is one they love to talk. They did so great and they got rid of it. And then every time some newspaper says that, there's a story immediately after saying South Korea is seeing a spike again. I don't mean to laugh. It's just the timing is wonderful. Fucking wonderful. Admittedly, a gain of function virus too. Oh, you're talking about something else, aren't you? And yet we are seeing all kinds of reports on how the antibodies go away and herd immunity doesn't work. Now, that's an interesting thing. We've seen varying reports on antibodies. And this has been this way since the beginning. If you go all the way back to just the original things, when because people have been, I don't want to say cured of this, but gotten better ever since the beginning. And there's been conflicting reports of whether or not antibodies stay in the body at all and whether or not you can be reinfected. Now, here's the problem. The only way to really find out is kind of fucked up. The only way to really find out to do scientific testing would be to purposefully try to get people sick. The reports I've seen anywhere from, a month to 6 months after, or not 6 months because we haven't been that far. So a month to 3 months, basically. The antibodies are falling to the point where it wouldn't protect you anymore. And that may be true. It may be the same as what the flu does to us. But we might also get to a point where, it affects us just like the flu. It's a yearly thing. Go get your coronavirus shot. You're protected for a few months as it's spreading like it does. And that's what we do with the flu, man. The flu has never been stopped. Flu A and flu B, they tend to take turns on which one is coming around. And 20 to 80,000 people a year. Never told to wear masks. Never told we got to shut everything down. Never told we got to keep kids out of school. You might close down a school because there was a cluster, and you close it down for a week or two, and then you bring everybody back. We don't change all of society over it. We don't go, oh my God, there's a school in New Jersey with the flu. Shut down California. It's fucking stupid. Professor Knapp says, I only get flu in years I get the flu shot. The way I understand it, they give you the flu shot hoping they know which virus is the one that's coming around that year that's going to be the big one. That doesn't mean the other flus aren't there, and you're not getting a flu shot for all known flus. You're getting one for the one that they think is going to be the big one. So if they misguessed, even getting that flu shot wouldn't help you. The flu is not a pandemic. It can be. Gamer Pavilion, thank you. Here goes another spike. They ramped up testing with ASU and free testing in the poor areas of Phoenix. The Maryvale and South Phoenix areas. Oh, yeah. Look, again, testing is a great thing. I disagree with Donald Trump on this one. I understand what he's saying there because it's scaring the shit out of people. Like, we see huge spikes, but people are not paying attention to what's actually going on. We saw this in the very beginning. Every day was a brand new highest number ever. How many new tests did you do? Well, twice as many as we've ever done, but that's unimportant. It's going to keep ramping up as we keep ramping. The more testing we do, the more of this is we're going to find. There's that the way Donald Trump said it, it made it sound kind of like the testing itself was causing it, and that's not what he was saying. It's just we find it when we test. The more cases we find directly coincides with the number of tests we do. And there's been some range on the percentage, but I mean, what was it? What was that in Florida? It was on a Thursday. They had the highest percentage ever at 18%. And then 2 days later, one of their lowest ever with 11% positive test rate. And maybe it averages to about what it is all the time at about 14%, because that's what it is most of the time since the Florida spike. It's not that they don't believe the testing. They're flat out denying that an increase in testing equals an increase in infections. Notice it, and that's the problem. It's a lie. Yeah. That should be noted anytime they're talking about it. Sorry, guys, I got to take some pain meds. I woke up today because I was in fucking horrible pain. I only got about 4 hours of sleep. And, Lady Monkey, why are you awake? Like, because God hates me. Sorry, that's not one of my unprofessional moments. That's just I had to do that. Let's see. I mean, I've seen stuff where people are just flat out denying that additional tests are additional results and additional infection. You know, I've seen those. I've seen people making those arguments. It doesn't matter. And they always go to the percentage of positive results. And again, I just told you Florida. Did you catch what state I used there? Florida, 18% last Thursday. And I think it was either Friday or Saturday that the testing was 11%. And I also just told you a little while ago that there are places in Florida not reporting negative results, which artificially increases the percentage of positive tests that are found. The other issue is positive tests don't mean the person has coronavirus now. Well, it also depends on what kind of test they're taking. I mean, these are all the tests that are administered, both the ones looking for the active virus and the antibody tests. So some of the people getting tested, they're testing positive for the antibody, which means they had it. They don't have it now. They don't have it anymore. So they could have had it, a month ago, and their numbers should have been added to that. But no, it's added now because we found a new case. I know there's some folks who don't care or believe that COVID things is going on right now. I wish they'd at least humorous and practice more hygiene than usual. Look, I have no doubt COVID is going on right now. I have no doubt that people are getting sick and that people are dying. I think there's a lot of funky shit going on with the numbers. When the health administrator there in Illinois tells us that they are counting every death as COVID if they test positive for COVID. She actually used the example. If somebody has cancer and they're given a couple of weeks to live and they end up with COVID, they're going to count it as a COVID death. Like, I'm sorry, what? We know that there's funky shit that's going on with the numbers. What I don't like is the way they're being used. Like I said, I don't think you should be mandated to wear a mask. And if you're not wearing a mask, I'm not getting near you. I wear a mask in public. I just don't think it should be mandated by the government. If stores want to tell you can't wear a mask or you can't come in here if you don't wear a mask, I'm okay with that. It's your private business. I'm not running it. But we've just gone a little overboard. I think this would be a great time to teach people the importance of washing your hands. Because remember that at the beginning, wash your hands. That's gone out the wayside for wear a mask. You want to know how you keep flu down? Wash your fucking hands. That 20,000 to 80,000 a year, wash your fucking hands. Especially after you touch cash. Oh God, money is so fucking dirty. Keep a little hand sanitizer on you if you're going to be out paying for shit. Wash them damn hands. I'm all for being cleaner. I am. But I just think we're taking things a little too hard. I wonder if there's a Schoolhouse Rock video on hand washing. There should be. There really should be. I think that's a great thing. I think if you look at our the evolution of our society, going back to when we had like plagues and shit, it was hygiene, that brought us out of that shit, But we still have some ways to go. I saw a tweet today. This guy said they were out in public. There's this girl wearing a mask. She pulls the mask up over her nose, sneezes, and then pulls the mask back down. She just sneezes out in the public, doesn't cover it with her hand or anything, not with a tissue or anything. I get not wanting to sneeze into your mask, but sweetie, if ever there was a time for you to have that mask on your face. Pincalo, thank you. Toronto Public Health admitted to doing the same. Yeah, I mean, there's funky shit going on. And I think a lot of it is purposefully to scare the public. A scared public is easy to control, you guys. Very easy to control. Anybody who's scared is very easy to control. Ask the Chinese. Speaking of that, somebody brought this up earlier. I saw the video. I don't know how confirmed it is, but the Uyghurs, is that how you say it? The Muslims in China. There's a video that's supposedly from a drone of a bunch of these guys on their knees that are then led onto a train, and nobody's quite sure where that train's going. Kind of reminiscent, ain't it? Uyghur. I'll get it right eventually, Faithless. They need to spell it right if they want me to say it right, for fuck's sake. That is a U, not a W when they spell it. Uyghurs. Okay, yeah. But sorry, I didn't have Jack here to correct me on it. Yeah, they're supposedly. Isn't that man? Look, you know me. I'm no Muslim lover. I think the religion itself is incredibly violent, and I'm just going by the teachings in their books. I mean, the Quran is a war journal. It is. It actually tells you what to do as you take over your enemy. It's what it is. So I don't have any love for it, but as long as they're practicing peacefully, I don't give a fuck. But what's happening to them, what we're hearing is happening to them, is absolutely disgusting, and the world needs to step in and go, excuse me, we have some questions about the way you're Jewing these poor Muslims. So yeah. I'm not real sure if that's valid though. So you got to be careful with anything coming out about that stuff, because China is notoriously locked down. You know, they have their state media, and they shut down social medias, and some stuff gets out, but it's not like we can trust it. And you know, the point being, we don't know how it's spreading. If we say all these people currently have COVID, but they instead had it weeks or months ago. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When they're reporting the positive results, if it is a positive antibody result, that should be a different result than the other one. Absolutely. Because they're not the same thing. The antibody test means you had it. It's specifically what they were looking for. Or it could mean you still have it and the antibodies are building up. So anywhere from had it to did have it. Those should be checked out. U.S. kind of has state media except it's against Trump. Well, yeah. The difference is our state media can still say whatever stupid shit they want. They might all say the same thing. It might all be processed by the same people, but over there, the Chinese government, the CCP, gets to say, no, you can't show that, you know. I'm feeling bad for China more and more. At some point, it'd be a country comprised of tombstones, seriously, or we'll have the world's greatest revolt at some point. I don't know. We've seen Chinese revolts before. It's been a while. But I think the CCP right now has them under enough of a thumb that, okay, you know how here in the States when somebody's like, we can fight back against the government, and people point out the government has the army. What are you going to do? They have tanks. What are you going to do with your AR-15? Over here, the chances of the government actually going, okay, fuck it, we're sending in the tanks against U.S. citizens is really slim. That would have to be a hell of a fight going on, you know. Over there, they don't even have to have a gun. They'll send in tanks. So I pray for a revolution for them. I'm not a religious man, so I hope is probably the better way of saying that. I hope for a revolution for them. I don't see one coming. As for the tombstones, China's not too worried about killing off a bunch of their people. They're not too worried if a bunch of them die off. I mean, they got 1 billion. They got 1 billion, and they can just change somebody and make them go work over here instead of over there. Bill died. You're a farmer now. I get what you're saying. I feel horrible for the Chinese people. I wish freedom for them. It's not coming, though. It is not coming anytime soon. Not unless somebody else funds a separatist group. You have some, CIA shit going on. Remember the Chinese, they're in league with the Russians, and not like Trump works for the Russians. No, they're in league with the Russians. Those guys are tight. So they're not going to stand by as anybody does anything to them. So I don't see anything. I don't see any meaningful uprise happening in China anytime soon, unfortunately. Faitha says sheep fear the wolf and look to the shepherd who will one day eat the sheep. Yeah, that's true. Look, you might be one of the lucky ones, and he won't eat you. He'll eat your friend, and you'll make it all the way to death's door without being eaten. Maybe he just had too many that time, and he got to pick and choose. I think a meteor strike's about the only thing that could change China. Well, there's a lot of people. What's the name of that dam over there? The 3 something dam. That think that's gonna, if that cracks and breaks, that'll cause a revolution. It really won't. It really won't. The military of China would have to go against the president, and they're not going to do that. Even if that dam broke, they'd be like, "Shit, we just lost a couple million people. What do you want us to do next, boss?" 3 Gorges Dam. Thank you. That's the name of it. There were some rumors that it was going to break, and there was some flooding in the cities that are underneath it. What they should be doing is moving those people. Like, all right, we're going to move you guys because apparently the flooding gets really bad down here because they've been relieving pressure off the dam. And they say right now that it'll hold if they have their rains that they normally get. I don't know. I don't know enough about China and about dam construction, but they were relieving water off of it, and it flooded the cities underneath it. And China's like, we don't know how that water got there. And the people down below say, it came from up there. I don't know why I went Mexican with that accent. Probably so I'm not being racist. Thank you, Gamer of Lean. China's been pissing off everyone lately. China has all the money. And nobody's going to do shit to them. Ain't nobody going to fuck with China. Not right now. Not right now. Yeah, so there's a lot of people who think that's going to, change something, that'll cause a revolt. And somebody told me, what was it? The leader is seen to have been picked by God. And if that happened, people might think that lose faith in him and be like, well, God obviously doesn't want you here. And all he has to do is go, shoot that asshole who said that. Take him out back first so nobody sees, though. Where's Jack? I don't know. Living his life. He's got the link. Jack always gets the link, but he's either sleeping or dealing with the real shit he has in life. Unlike me, Jack doesn't get to just sit at home all day. Jack's not crippled. He has to still go work. And by work, I mean not necessarily like a punch a clock job, but odd jobs and taking care of his home and hanging out with his family, that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, they will. China is vulnerable. The collateral cost is too high. That's why. No, nobody's going to fuck with China because of the money. China calling all its debts and the world is fucked. World is fucked. The collateral cut, man, shit. It'd be all on them. Nobody's going to fuck with them. It's the same reason we never went all the way in Vietnam. It's the same reason we never went all the way in Korea. We could kick the shit out of China, but nobody wants to mess with them, especially not with the Russians right there on their northern border who could come in and help. That is just a block right now that nobody wants to fuck with. We'll throw sanctions at them once in a while. And we had a little pissing match with them. Do you guys remember the other day when Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio and a couple of others, what was it China did to them? I forget the wording, but China came out and denounced them. But we had already done that to some of their people, so they were retaliating. And it's getting to the point now where we're about to kick each other's ambassadors out. It's going to be cute. It's going to be cute as fuck. Sanction them. That's it. That was the word. Thank you, Becca. They sanctioned Marco Rubio and Teddy Cruz. Like, okay. And it's just because we'd done that. We'd frozen the assets of some Chinese businessmen and government officials. And I told them they had to get the fuck out of the country. So we're on an escalating path there. But again, this shit it'll calm down. It'll calm down. China, look, Jack keeps talking about China could invade us. They could, and it happened really easily. You have a bunch of these little shitheads out there who actually think China is great. We read one, was it last night before? This little shitbag was like, China has never, they grew without having to harm anybody. Like, bitch, what history book did you read? The fuck are you talking about? They've never been imperial at all. Like, what? No imperial. What the fuck are you talking about? There's no slavery or genocide. Like, oh my God, dude, read a book. But you have these people out there, I mean, they wave Chinese flags at demonstrations and shit because they're morons. They have no fucking clue. They just see commie good. And I kind of hope the Chinese come and kidnap those people and take them back to China with them. I mean, we could just let them, land your plane here, go grab them and take them. Let them see what life is like under Chinese rule. That lone student that stood up to that line of tanks was fine, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. Once the cameras were off, I'm sure nothing bad happened to him at all. Yeah, he doesn't even exist in the birth records anymore. Ab says, these people don't read history. That's the problem. China has concentration camps presently. Yeah, they've had these for a while. Way back when AOC was calling our detention centers down on the border concentration camps, these were over there in China. And it's not like nobody knew about them at that point. It had already been reported on, but it's just not in any mainstream reporting. Nobody's going after them for this. And I still haven't seen mainstream outlets go after them for this. They're just like, no, China buys a lot of movie tickets. We're not going to fuck with them. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to take a look over here. Have they finally released this thing on Dan Snyder? I was hoping they would do it while it was live, so I'd love to read it. It's still not out yet? Son of a bitch. Come on, Washington Post. You're supposed to be today. Oh, wait. Did they actually? Nope. Still not seeing it. You sons of bitches. Well, you know what we can do? Here's a list of the supposed things that have happened. Washington owner Dan Snyder abuses both alcohol and drugs. He's accused of paying off officials, with some allegedly having made $2 million off of Snyder, also alluding to other owners doing similar things. Allegedly, Snyder and former coach Jay Gruden, brother of John Gruden, held their cheerleading passports from some of them in a foreign country in order to force them to solicit themselves to season ticket holders. Snyder also held nude photo shoots of the cheerleaders. Snyder and Gruden allegedly held sex parties with rampant drug usage and potentially some sexual assault. Sources also stated that Jay and former running back Cappy Bibbs were at one time sleeping with the same woman. Gruden found out, got angry, and benched Bibbs. The next game, Bibbs' replacement missed a key block, and that resulted in the quarterback, Alex Smith, suffering a broken leg. Smith had 17 surgeries and hasn't been able to play since. Lawyers are involved and potentially the FBI. Now, this, as far as I know, is not from the Washington Post. This is just what people have been digging up. Take it for what it is. I'm not meaning to spread rumors. I would really, really like the Washington Post to release their goddamn story so we can talk about it for real, but that's what we know so far. Re-education gulags, monkey. I know. Yeah. That's some butterfly effect bullshit. Well, Faithless, in that case, the final one there where the quarterback got hurt because of the replacement, it would be petty to bench somebody because you found out they were fucking the same girl. If that led to the replacement coming in and that replacement missing a block and ending the guy's career, I could see people going, oh, that's fucked up. You can't really blame it on him for that. It's not like he's like, okay, missed that block, so he breaks his leg kind of thing. But still, if things were different, if he hadn't gotten petty over it, then the other guy would have been in there. He might have still missed the block, but, you know, there's a reason he was the starter. That one doesn't concern me as much as the other ones. Even the paying off the refs, I mean, if the Redskins have been paying off the refs, they have been doing a really, really shitty job at it. They're not paying enough because, God, they suck. They've sucked for a while. Would that be the speculation? Look, man, I'm all for speculation. Bring it. I want to see what he supposedly did. And not because I care, because I just think it's funny. The idea that this motherfucker decided to change the name of the Redskins, not because he was actually giving in to all of this bullshit lefty garbage, but he did it to try to take away the focus from him being a douchebag, from him basically forcing cheerleaders into prostitution. That would be amazing. That would be fucking amazing. That would be criminal. And yeah, if there's truth to that, if there's any truth to that, that they can prove, that motherfucker's going to jail. To be fair, don't all sports teams from Washington kind of suck? Let's see, they got the Nationals. I don't know anything about the Nationals, but haven't they won a pennant already? I could be wrong. Do they have a hockey team? Does DC have a basketball team? Shit, I don't know anything about their other sports teams. Not a fucking thing. I know the Nationals. That's it. Nationals won the World Series last year. There you go. The Capitals. Oh, that's hockey. And Wizards for the basketball. Gotcha. Man, I'm so far removed from sports. I used to know sports pretty well. Capitals won the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago. What do you guys think of teams of free agency? I miss the old days where people were, hired onto a team and they just stayed there forever. That'd be awesome. The Generals lose to Harlem Globetrotters. The Generals are the best Washington team there is. Gamergate, thank you. I like you guys and don't often find you grossly incorrect on your analysis. I give different takes, but I'm not saying you're wrong. However, on China, you're wrong. I'm sending sources. Send away. But you realize you're arguing an opinion, right? If you can show me that I'm wrong, that we're not going to go, that the United States is not going to fuck with China because, well, they own all our debt, by all means. We're not going to go to war with China. Well, for several reasons. One, we could kick the absolute shit out of China. Absolute shit. They have the best Navy in the world besides us. Yeah, and we could sink their entire Navy with half of one of our battle groups. They're fucking, that aircraft carrier they got from the Russians. That thing is sad. Oh God, that is sad. It looks like they put a top on a bathtub. If we cannot pay or will not pay our debt, China loses it all. That's true. Now, they could also squeeze us, though. It's a mutually assured destruction there. Hockey and baseball are my two favorite sports, and I could live with football. But look, I love my football. I like baseball. I like playing basketball. And hockey is something Canadians do. No offense, Canadians. It's just what you guys do. And yeah. I'm showing you why China is in a bad spot. That's not where you're wrong. I'm showing you why calling our debt won't mean shit. They pissed off everyone. The inability to pay for everything is not nothing. What's China going to do? It's kind of hard to repossess a country. Stop giving us debt. Who are we going to get it from? How are we going to pay our bills? This last year, before the COVID thing, $1 trillion in debt. Trillion. Some of that comes from internal sources. The vast majority of it comes from overseas investment. The vast majority of that is China. They beat each other up in ice skates, for fuck's sake. You know what, Ab? That's when I used to like hockey, but hockey has become a gentleman's sport. It was the only time Canadians used to be mean is in hockey. They'd beat the ever-loving fuck out of each other. And that was always on SportsCenter. They'd put the fights on there, and then somebody went, we got to stop fighting. And they're, oh my God, we got to stop fighting. And now you got hockey players with all their teeth. The fuck is that? If a hockey player smiles and he's got all his teeth, he better be a rookie. He better be new to the game. If we went to war with China, all our secret shit that's just sitting and testing will go straight to active use. Dude, we could fuck China up with no problem. The only issue, I mean, they might get a nuke off. We might lose LA. So we just don't go there for a while. We just don't go there for a while. They launched their entire arsenal, maybe, but by the time they did that, the assured destruction would be over with already. Our submarines that are capable of sitting off their coast would just light them the fuck up before we ever had to fire a land nuke. Why is nuking LA a loss? Well, exactly, Random. Exactly. Do you remember when Korea said that? We can get a missile to LA. And so do it, and we will glass your fucking country, bitch. Try it. Because even then, China wouldn't come, because China doesn't want to get into a nuclear war with us. Nobody does. Nobody wants to play that game. Nobody wins that game. Even if you win that war, your country's toast. You destroyed your infrastructure, from your roads to your power grid. You've destroyed everything. They turned Aussie footy into the same thing down here. Oh, did they? They cleaned it all up. Isn't that some bullshit? Now, in the NFL, one of the rules they got rid of that I was okay with, or that they put in, they got rid of something, was they made it so you can't clothesline people anymore. And they did that after, I forget the Raiders' name. I want to say Wilkins, but I'm probably wrong on that. But he clotheslined this motherfucker and crippled his ass. I was okay with that one, but they've made it such a pussy game right now. I miss the days when receivers actually had to fight for the ball. You're seeing all these quarterbacks are putting up these fucking amazing numbers that you never would have seen 20 years ago. And that's because you can't touch the quarterback in certain ways, and you're not allowed to touch that receiver at all once he starts running down the field. It's like, oh, okay, but Monkey went 90s with his voice, or is it just me? My voice is going right now. I can hear it. Yeah, there's something. It's I've fucked it up. But yeah, you have these amazing numbers because you can't touch the receiver anymore. Like, stop being a pussy. I'm all for not blindsiding him. You know, if he goes up for the catch and you come running out of nowhere and you just fucking spear him in his ribs, that's kind of fucked up. But if two of you are both going up for the ball, or you're just defending him because you see him go up and you just get your hand up on him or something, that should be legal as shit. It used to be. Back when Fouts was setting records, that shit was allowed, and they still did it. The QB is the moneymaker for the team. People like to watch long passes. They really do. It's pretty. So much of football is like a 5-yard run or a 3-yard run. Oh God. Why does he keep running up the middle? All the people are there. Well, they're hoping for that big breakaway run. That's why. But yeah. I don't want these guys to get hurt, but they've kind of gone pussy on it. They really have. But yeah, again, hockey, the only thing I ever watched with hockey is I'd watch ESPN to watch the fights. It's the same. Again, I do not give two shits about racing. Don't care. Those are guys driving in a circle. And I realize that it's an endurance thing and it's knowing how to drive the car just right. And it's impressive. Still just a guy driving a car in a circle. The only time I care is when that motherfucker goes airborne. When he goes airborne, he bounces off a wall, his car catches on fire, something like that. That's all I care about. Do not care about people turning in circles. I like Formula One. I used to watch Indy racing from time to time back in my teen years. And it's still interesting, but the best part of any racing is the crash. Again, I hope they don't get hurt when they crash, but golf is also a game, not a sport. I agree, and I enjoy the game. It's a lot of fun. I watch golf. We went to a seniors tournament that was down in Grand Rapids, and got to walk around with Lee Trevino. That guy is funny as fuck. He's a good golfer, and he's funny as fuck, man. He's just quipping the whole time. But it's not a sport. It's not a sport. If somebody could tackle him right as he was getting ready to swing, that would be a sport. Or if like they could catch the ball and throw it back and wherever it landed, that's where he actually has to play from. Maybe then I'd call it a sport. Lee Trevino. Leetrabino. Monk is sounding like Prospero. Do you know how much I've talked in the last 24 hours? Seriously. Oh, fuck all y'all. It's just my voice. It's going. I'm losing it. Oh, man. My throat is my throat's to the point where it's like, fuck you, monkey. How dare you talk so much? See, what, did a 2-hour monkey in the morning and then a 4.5-hour game stream, and we're 2 hours here, and my voice is just giving out. Fuck you. Esports is not a sport. It is a game. I agree with you. It was kind of cool, though, to see when I went over to the Washington Post sports page, hoping they had the Dan Snyder story, that they cover video games, esports stuff. I mean, if golf is going to be covered, I feel like esports should be covered by news, sporting news. I'm okay with that. Monkey, shut up before you go mute. I got like 4 minutes left, and then I'll close down because then Lady Monkey will be done at work, and I'll go hang out with her. Yeah, my throat actually hurts, man. If you want some company so you don't have to do all the talking, beam me up, Scotty. Oh, dude, I was just getting ready to close down. I meant to offer that earlier to you, dog, and I forgot to because I got distracted by some. I have the worst memory ever. Monkey needs a spoonful of honey. No, and I like how you called me money there. Monkey just needs to shut the hell up for a little bit. Monkey, sometimes I overdo it, guys. Sometimes I overdo it, but I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun for me. And talking is something I'm good at. Becca, don't you dare correct yourself there. How dare you? Monkey needs a break. Yeah, I won't get much of a break because I'll just go talk to Lady Monkey and annoy the shit out of her. That's what I do. Sometimes. Look. Devil fruit. Okay, I overdo it a lot. But usually my voice doesn't give out. But I've done a lot of streaming in the last 2 days because I had a... How long was the game stream before that? Did that one go 4 hours too? Plus the monkey in the morning. Plus you got the... yeah, I've done a lot of talking in the last 2 days. Have I hit... God, probably well over 16 hours of just straight talk. Just me talking. Because I've done 2 monkey in the mornings. No, Jack was on the other one. So that one was Monkey of the Morning last night, and then this one all by myself. So that's just straight me talking. 8 hours worth of, probably almost 9 hours worth of game streaming, just me talking the whole time. So fuck yeah, that's 15 hours right there. 4 hours last night, and day before 3 hours. Okay, fair enough. To sleep, perchance to dream. I also, again, that's another thing. I did not sleep worth a shit last night. So that's probably playing a little bit of a role too. I didn't, my voice didn't get any kind of, normally, even though I sleep like shit, I stay in bed, but I couldn't stay in bed last night. So crawled my ass out, and here I am. Just heckling. Love listening to you, honestly. I appreciate you listening. I love having you listen. Could have called in help. I didn't need help. I'm fine. I could do this for another 10 hours. 16 hours straight one time, guys. Come on. I cannot imagine why you got no sleep. Whew, man. I just turned wrong in my sleep, and my back said, fuck you. I'm like, ooh, all right, fuck me. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap up here. Lady Monkey's off in about 5 minutes, so I'm going to go hang out with her. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so very much for the donations. You guys are very kind. Tonight we'll be on Satsu's channel in just a couple of hours for Lords of Night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time over on Satsu 2 cents. The link is below. I'm going to try for Monkey in the Morning right after. I'm going to try to keep the schedule I kept last night. So we'll do Monkey in the Morning right after Lords of the Night, and then straight into a gaming stream, and then hopefully I sleep. Hopefully. We'll see what happens. But thanks for coming and hanging out. Thank you so much for the donations. And thank you for being you. That was gay. You guys have a good night. I'll see you next time. This is my voice.